My cousin Colin waves a piece of paper in my face. Look, we found a treasure map. I grab it out of his hands. I am 9, I am the oldest, and I will determine whether this is the real deal. And sure enough, there is my grandparents' neighborhood, complete with an X marking a spot in the woods behind my grandpa's shop. My heart pounding, we head back to the woods. Colin points to a spot and we start to dig. And as my hands touch the wicker of the jewelry box, I know that my hero's journey has finally begun. But I've read all the books. I know exactly what to do, and I assemble my dream team of younger cousins. Okay, we need to go house to house and figure out where this treasure came from and how it got to be here and why. At the first neighbor's house, I demand, have you ever seen any of this jewelry before? Well, yeah, actually. Colin, I gave that necklace to your mom when we were in high school. And as he says it, the clues that I have missed flash before me. The fact that this map was written on computer paper. The gleam in Colin's eyes as he pointed to this spot. I had been duped by one of my own guys. He had buried his own mom's jewelry box. And tears fill my eyes, and I turn to Colin, whose grin fades as he realizes that fun and games can have consequences. And I start to cry. Why would you do that? I would never trick someone just to get their hopes up. And as my life goes on, I do hold to that. But then, one summer during college, a friend of mine who's a theater major comes to visit. He's taking a summer accent class. We spend hours practicing the intermediate I sound that makes up the Irish accent. And then he looks at me and says, Annie, you're a French major. I bet you could do a pretty good French accent. And so I try it. And to our Montana ears, I am incroyable. And I am loving it. And my mom overhears and says, well, you should take it a step further and try to call someone and convince them that you actually are French. What about Colin? Colin. In the decade since he engineered my greatest childhood disappointments, he's now become a scholarship student at a very fancy East Coast boarding school, and his ego is big enough that he could probably stand to be brought down a couple notches by a harmless prank. So I grab my friend's phone and dial Colin's number. I have zero plan. I just need to come up with a reason that a French person would have a phone number from Libby, Montana, the town my friend's from that's mostly known for its asbestos problem, and B, why they would be calling Colin. And he answers, hello, my name is Marie. I am the new exchange student at your school in New Hampshire. Your French teacher gave me your number. Oh, yeah, I think I remember hearing about you. Yes, I just arrived in US. I am in Montana for summer program in Libby. And he buys it. And all of a sudden I am catfishing, even though it's 2006 and we don't yet know that catfishing is a thing. Oh, I bet you my French teacher gave you my number because, well, I'm gonna be a senior, but also I know what it's like to come to St. Paul's from far away. It's crazy intimidating, I get it. And this unexpected vulnerability from Colin makes me feel guilty, so I try to give him some clues. Yes, I am mostly nervous I will miss my twin sister, Annie. We are so similar, we are practically the same person. Nothing, so I try a different tack. I spend the rest of the summer in Bozeman, Montana. Oh, Bozeman, my cousin lives there and she speaks French. And she's so nice, you just have to meet her. So we hang up and immediately my phone rings. Annie, you will not believe it. The most amazing French girl is coming to my school, but she's in Bozeman for the summer. Wait, so she's in Montana for the summer, and then she's going to New Hampshire for school? That's like she's mirroring your life. That's very weird. I know, it's like it's meant to be. And I feel bad, I really do, but then I think about the jewelry box and the dinosaur bones from the next summer. And hell hath no fury like a treasure hunter scorned. So I decide to let it go just a little bit longer. And I call him from time to time as the summer goes on, either as Marie or as myself, now having met her. I only call when I'm bored, but that summer I'm working as a janitor at my old high school, so I'm bored kind of a lot. And then my aunt comes to visit. Oh, Annie, it is so wonderful how nice you are being to Colin's French girl. And I lose it. I had no idea this had gone past Colin. There is no French girl. That is me doing a bad accent. And her eyes widen. Oh, no. All Colin has talked about this summer is this French girl, and he is thinking about breaking up with his girlfriend. I weakly try to defend myself. That is on him. There has been no allusion to romantic interest on behalf of the French girl. But I tell her I'll end it, and I do intend to. I just don't know how, because at this point I've become quite proud of this, and I want an exit strategy that is as good as the prank itself. The answer finally comes when a large group of my family is gathered together while my dad undergoes an emergency appendectomy. And everyone knows both Colin and me and understands both the hilarity and the gravity of the situation. And the exit strategy that we come up with is that we will take my middle school age cousin Charlie in all his gangly adolescent glory and put him in one of my dresses, take a picture and send it to Colin. And it's an idea that's born of a specific place and time, and we don't question that it might be problematic on several levels. We just do it. I take the picture, send it to Colin in a blank email that just says, "You wanted to know if she was hot," and I leave the country. This is my last thing to do on my pre-studied abroad to-do list. And I don't hear back. And I figure he's just pissed. And then at Thanksgiving I call home and the phone is passed around and it gets to Colin. I say, "Hey, Col, I hope you're not too mad at me." About what? About the French girl and how it was just me the whole time? What? And then there's just silence. And then my mom gets on the phone and says they're gonna have to call me back. And when she does, I learn to my horror that my fun and games have had consequences, that Colin interpreted the picture of Charlie as the prank. He thought I was messing with him about what she looked like. And he went back to school and spent the semester trying to convince his French teacher and everyone else that she was real and that something must have happened to explain her absence. And we are still not allowed to talk about this in my family. Even though Colin is fine. He is a doctor. He is dating a real, live American girl. But as for me, I try to stick to adventure stories where I can be the hero and not inadvertently become the villain.